this is Knife Standards. Today I'm going to be doing my full review of the Tactile Knife Co. Rockwall, and this is the Thumbstud version. But first, please follow me at Knife Standards. You can follow me on Instagram. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for a lot more knife content and weekly knife reviews. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get into it. We'll talk about the Tactile Knife Co. Rockwall. And of course, this is the Thumbstud version. They also do a version, the original version is a flipper, which I'm kind of flippered out, you know. I feel like flippers have hit, I don't know, I mean, between Koenig, between the Arius and the haptic and all the Vero, or not all, but most of the Vero stuff, I just feel like flippers have hit their peak, and there's still quite a ways to go with Thumbstud knives, but currently, lately, the Thumbstud, it just interests me more. So I went and picked up the Thumbstud Rockwall, and of course this is from Tactile Knife Co., same people behind Tactile Turn, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. They make great pens. One of their seasonal releases, the Nautilus, is one of my favorite pens. I use that almost every day. And when I saw that they were making a Thumbstud version, actually, you know what? When I first saw that it was a Thumbstud version, it was at Blade Show West, and they had their chef's knife, and they had their excuse me, they had their Thumbstud Rockwall, and I picked it up and I was like, whoa, well, you know, what is this? And then I talked to the guys from Tactile and they explained it, and it was coming out soon. So I just kind of, you know, waited patiently, and they were gonna drop some of these in MagnaCut, and I think their prototype was in MagnaCut. I ended up getting the one that was in 20CV. To me, that's a little bit more interesting than their other choice, which was XHP, also a great steel, but I think this is a little bit more exciting. And of course, MagnaCut is even more exciting, but they only had, I think, just a few, and they went really quick in the drop, and then they came out with another few. But my point being that I just wanted the knife and an excellent steel, which 20CV was solid for me. This ended up being one of my top 5, actually top 3 picks for Knife of the Year. And this year I did my picks for Knife of the Year. You know, I didn't do a budget category. I didn't do like price tiers. I just did my favorite knives. You know, my picks. I had 2 honorable mentions and then a top 3. And this was in the top 3. So let's go ahead and do a quick size comparison, and then we'll talk specs and, you know, kind of go over the details of the knife, because this is a great knife. Don't get me wrong, this did not win my Knife of the Year, but there's a reason that this was top 3. So let's go ahead and see, what do we have for a size comparison. We have, I'll go ahead and get the Quiet Carry Drift, very similarly sized. Of course, the Rockwall being a liner lock and the Drift being a frame lock. Now I also have a little bit larger of a knife. I got the Vero Axon frame lock. Kind of towers over these guys. And let's get them measured up. Where is my trusty Knife Standards measuring tape? So Quiet Carry Drift, I think this comes in, yeah, just about 3 inches for the blade, almost 7 overall. Rockwall, again, 3 for the blade, exactly 7 overall. And then for the Axon, we got a beefy 3.5 on the blade, and then 8 overall. So of course, the Axon is the larger of the 3. The Rockwall, I would consider this, oh, it's tough. This is kind of like right on the edge between small and medium. I'm going to call this a medium-sized knife, but of course it is on the, you know, the smaller side of medium. For my hand, which is on the smaller side, this fits great. I get the full 4-finger grip. It's super comfortable. We'll talk ergos in a second, but I would consider this, you know, medium, small to medium. But it's a great size knife. It's, you know, like comfortable in pocket, and it's not gonna, you know, it's very, I would almost consider it like a gentleman's carry. This is like a modern gentleman's carry. They also have, Tactile also has a, I think it's spelled the Bexar, but they call it the Bear. I don't know, but that is a really, you know, like a true gentleman's carry. It's a slip joint, and that has been just cleaning up on all of the, you know, Knife of the Year awards and slip joint of the Year awards. So they're crushing it. Tactile's crushing it, and for good reason. Let's go ahead and get into some details of the knife. We have a nice drop point blade. It is stone washed, which for blade finishes, not my favorite. I think for this particular configuration, it looks great. You have some really awesome milling, and this has kind of become Tactile's trademark finish. This kind of milling, you can see it, this kind of milling pattern all the way across. They have on a lot of their pens, they have it around the pen. It's not only is it nice to look at, but it feels great in hand. It just provides a little bit more grip. And of course, it is on both sides. Really, really attractive, functional milling, even into this little groove. Awesome. Now, as I said, it's 20 CV blade steel. The stone wash does look good. It's not my favorite blade finish. We are running on bearings, which is pretty interesting for this knife. You know, just by the action, I would assume that this is on washers. It kind of has that washer action. You know, this is not, although I have seen some people with these where it kind of, you know, either drops shut or drops, you know, to your thumbnail and then closes. But mine is pretty kind of controlled and has that kind of smooth, super smooth. Don't get me wrong, it's super smooth, but it has that kind of smooth, controlled close that I would expect from a knife that runs on washers. Can you middle finger flick it? Yes. Am I gonna be able to do it? No. No, I kind of blocked myself on that one, but there we go. So can be done. I don't think it's made for middle finger flicking. It is cool that the thumb studs are, you can see there's a little bit of milling, and I don't know if you'd call that jimping on the thumb stud, but it's on the side of the thumb stud, and then the actual kind of the edges and the top are really smooth and comfortable. As far as action goes, deployment, really snappy. I mean, like really, really good, really kind of crisp. You can hear the noise. Let's hear that. Boom. Closing, you can shake it shut. It's just interesting that they went with bearings. I would love to see them do a version of this on washers, and they're pretty, you know, they're smart guys over there. I would guess that they tried it with washers, but I would like to know why they didn't go with washers. Now, I have not taken this apart yet. I think I'm going to, but I wonder what kind of bearings. I'm assuming ceramic bearings. Let's see if we can we see? I can barely see in there. But yeah, I might take this guy apart. Of course, the handles are titanium. We have a titanium pocket clip that is kind of set into the scale, behind the scale, hidden hardware for the clip. So I'm assuming, oh, maybe, yeah, so I guess that tucks into the scale, and then this screw holds the back spacer, and the other scale maybe even goes through the clip, and they all kind of sandwich together. So that's cool, awesome design. It is an inset liner lock, so you can see, can you see? Yeah, oh, nice internal milling. All right, I like that. And of course, the liner is set into the scale. So, you know, you can't access the liner down here, not that you would need to, but aesthetically, this is awesome. Just a little cutout for my thumb. As far as critiques go for this guy, there aren't that many. Of course, I would like to see a satin blade finish, or at least another option for the blade finish. You can see it says Tactile right there, and just the blade steel, so minimal billboarding, which is cool. Although if the billboarding is done right, it doesn't bother me. I think this is all, pretty sure this is all, let's see, I think this is all T8. Yeah. Yeah, all T8 hardware, so that's a huge plus. But back to the critiques. When I was trying to disengage the liner lock, my thumb does kind of slip past this. There's not a whole lot to grab onto, and I know you can kind of get a hold of that jimping, and because of where the jimping is, I think that you are meant to go a little bit lower, which is, you know, right in this area, and kind of pull it to the side. But whether I go low or up top, it just feels a little bit awkward because of how thin the liner is, and there's just not that much to grab onto. You can see, you know, kind of at this angle for this view, there's nothing. You just see a little bit of the texturing, a little bit of the jimping, but there's just not a whole lot to grab onto. So I would definitely either change that, either make this more aggressive, have the liner, you know, stand proud, or, you know, kind of protrude out of the scale just a little bit this way, so I can get a grip on it. Maybe a little bit more texturing, or kind of pare back the scale just a little bit, kind of knock down the scale just a touch so I can kind of get in there. Not a huge deal. What else? Oh, the clip, aesthetically, I think it's great. I think this is one of the better looking clips I've ever seen. It fits with the gentleman's carry design. It's super kind of sleek and sexy, and just like, damn, that's cool looking. But as far as in and out of pocket, it just wasn't that fun to carry. It is deep carry. The retention is good, but in and out of pocket it wasn't like intuitive in and out of pocket. Here, I'll just do it right now. Yeah, you kind of have to like use two hands and kind of force it into your pocket, and then taking it out is fine. But if I, only had one hand on the knife to just put it in my pocket, I'd kind of be in trouble. My only other critique, of course, let's see, blade centering, pretty damn good. My only other critique, and again, these are all small things, but if you can see, this is, made for righties, although lefties could use it because there are thumb studs and it is a liner lock. The tooling mark for the Torx is on the show side. Now, it is a captive pivot. I can see the D shape. I have no idea why they put it on the clip side. Weird, right? Because I don't think it, from their perspective, I don't think it makes a difference. So I would much rather see, let's see, like this for the drift. So clean. Nice design. And then you have the tooling mark on the clip side. So that would have been great if I feel like Tactile can do that. Put this pivot on this side, right? So that just about wraps up the critiques. There's a reason that this was picked by me, in my top 3. So let me go over some really positive things to kind of wrap this video up. Ergos are awesome. I do feel the clip. So not only is the clip not that enjoyable to get into pocket, but I do feel just a little kind of pinch on this edge. I do get a full 4-finger grip. The jimping could be a touch more aggressive, kind of keep my thumb in place. It feels a little bit slippery. It is comfortable though. And now when it is in your pocket, it disappears. I heard the Tactile people, comparing it to a pack of gum. And that's kind of what it feels like. You forget it's in your pocket. If you're wearing a suit or something, it's very classy. You can't beat the looks of this knife. The milling is amazing. I forgot to mention, this is 100% made in Texas. So this is 100% US made. Some people freak out about that stuff. I don't particularly, but I am from the US and I do live in the US. So that's very cool that this is a US made knife. And compared to other US made knives, such as, I was about to say I won't mention any names, but I will mention names, such as Hinderer. This thing just blows Hinderer out of the water. I mean, price-wise, Hinderers are going for $425 and up. This guy, I think, was $300 on the dot, or maybe a little less than $300, right around there. So 100% made in the US, pretty damn solid pricing for what it is and where it was made. The people at Tactile seem really great when I talked to them at Blade Show, and they're continuing to innovate. You know, I think this came out this year. I'm pretty sure the Flipper came out, or not this year, last year. It's 2022 now, but I think this came out early 2021. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're doing really cool stuff, continuing to innovate. MagnaCut comes out, boom, they use MagnaCut on their knives, and I feel like they're going to continue to get better and better and come out with really great stuff. Oh, and also, you know, I said 100% made in the USA, but they actually, in the Tactile Knife Co. factory, or the machine shop in Texas, they're making every single piece of this knife. They are machining every single piece, except for, I think they said there's a stop pin and the actual bearings they don't make. But so 98% of the parts are made in-house. That's pretty crazy. That is pretty crazy. So this is kind of on par, in my mind, with a custom, and it does have that feel. Because this is not perfect machining. I mean, there are no rough edges. I mean, it's super smooth and chamfered and comfortable, but this is not like perfect, you know, like robot machining. This feels handmade. And of course, you know, they are using machines, but this has that kind of like, you know, a few guys in a machine shop made this for me feeling, and I really like that. So overall, not only because of the company, where it was made, the materials, but also they're making every part in-house. The price is right on. It's comfortable. It's a damn cool looking knife, and it came sharp and stayed super, super sharp. An excellent edge put on by Tactile Knife Co. So overall, I really, really am enjoying this knife, and I have thoroughly enjoyed this knife. This seems like one of those knives that I will continue to carry, even though I have like too many knives on my desk right now to review and to make videos on. I feel like I will continue to carry this, especially when I'm dressing up or going out somewhere, or, you know, if I have to wear a suit or something. This is like the gentleman's knife for me, at least. Until they innovate and come out with something new, or until I find something that outdoes this. This is where it's at, especially for 2021 and going into early 2022. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Knife Standards. I will catch you guys later.